passion pouring. Bache is over here relaxing back because he's already got all his work done. He's got his list. He went through the whole list of what's going to be on the meeting today, and he's like, Doc, whatever you want, man, I'm ready for you. You just go. Tatiana's sitting back saying, Doc, I love your heart, man, but seriously, this is the third meeting that we haven't talked about women's ministry yet. Can we get on that, please? Joseph is sitting there, and just this weight just pours on him, and he just realizes that he's leaving soon. And he just looks around at all of us that are part of the staff meeting and says, I'm going to miss every single one of these people here. Then we got Jacob over here, and he's freaking out because he just realized, man, I have a sermon that I got to do tonight. I got the staff meeting that I got to be at. I just got engaged, so I got a plan for that. And he's just going out, just getting consumed by it all. And then I'm over here in the back of the room, just texting away, pumping up my guys for the next event coming up. And I hear something important that Doc says, and I look into his eyes, and his eyes are just saying to us all, are you hearing a word that I'm saying? My phone starts to blow up again, so I start to just get consumed by what I was doing. The meeting ends. We all go our way, and Doc's left in the room saying, how am I going to rally my troops? How am I going to get my team to be unified? That's the question that we're going to ask, or we're going to find out tonight in the passage. We're going to look at how to achieve church unity. A little background so we know what's going on. This passage has two things going on. There's an outside pressure coming in and an inside pressure causing unity to be interrupted within the church. And Paul's going to address that in the letter that he's going to talk about. We'll see two things happen today. We're going to define what is church unity, and then we're going to see how do we achieve church unity. So turn with me to the book of Philippians. The book of Philippians, chapter 2. Philippians, chapter 2. So the question is, what is church unity? What does church unity mean? Church unity means to be of the same purpose. Church unity means to be of the same mind. We're going to read that in verses 1 and 2. If you have any encouragement from being united with Christ, if any comfort from his love, if any fellowship with his Spirit, if any tenderness and compassion, then make my joy complete by being like-minded, having the same love, and being one in spirit and purpose. Paul is giving his advice, his concern about unity. He's saying for us to focus on the same purpose. And he's asking us to come together to be unified in this way. So the first thing we've seen is that church unity means to be of the same purpose. Church unity means to be of the same mind. But now how do we achieve that? How do we practice that? Well, verses 3 and 4 are going to answer that. But first we're going to look at verse 3. Verse 3 is going to explain to us that church unity is achieved by serving others. That is, church unity is practiced by considering others better than ourselves. Let's read. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but in humility consider others better than yourself. Paul uses two words here that describe the culture of that day. Selfish ambition and vain conceit were things that were strengths of that day. Things that made us look like we can conquer things, that it's about me, what I can do, and that was seen as appealing to people. And what Paul was, the reason why he was using those words is because he's saying, this is what the world is driven by, and what we need to be is driven by considering others better than ourselves. For us to achieve unity, we have to let go of those kinds of way of thinking and consider others better than ourselves. So he's also saying if we have these selfish ambitions and vain conceit, then we have no room for unity. We have no room for others to be a part of this gathering because it's about us. How is it room when it's about us? And what he's saying is, leave those and pick this up. So this has been my story for the past 3 weeks. I have been so stressed out. I have been so consumed with my own agenda. And every week I meet with a buddy of mine who is my accountability partner. And we walk life together. We serve each other. We try to grow each other to be more like God. And in this pursuit, the last couple of weeks, he's been letting himself be put alongside and considering me more important than that time. So we've been working on the sermon together, and he's been just considering me more important and serving me in this. And this past week, God was just convicting my heart, and he was saying, this can't be about you this time. He's getting ready to have a baby. He actually just had a baby 2 days ago. And so it's just heavy on my heart that it can't be about just me in this thing. So when he came in and he sat down, I just told him, I was like, hey, look, we can't work on my sermon. This is supposed to be about us growing and serving each other to consider each other and help us grow and be united. And so he just drops down and he's like, Jeremy, thank you so much. Like, I was willing to put my stuff aside to serve you right now, but like my life is so stressed out right now. I'm so consumed, and I just need somebody to talk to about this stuff. So in that story, what we get to see is by putting ourselves aside on both sides of the picture, that we were able to consider each other and we were able to bond and come closer. So we've seen so far that church unity means to be of the same purpose, that church unity is to be of the same mind. The second thing that we've seen is church unity is achieved by considering others better than ourselves. Church unity is practiced by serving others. But verse 4 explains another component of that. Verse 4 is going to show us that church unity is achieved by being interested in the things that other people are interested in. That is considering others better than ourselves. That is putting others above ourselves. Let's read. Each of you should not look only to your own interests, but also to the interests of others. A lot of us have interests, but few of us are interested in others. And this is what Paul is trying to say, is look beyond your own interests and be interested in those things of others. He's saying, if we're able to put ourselves aside and be interested in the things of others, what's going to happen is we're going to be able to have this unity that we're supposed to have. We're able to put on the strength of who God is. One of God's virtues of being unified, of serving one another so we can come together. It's kind of like a picture of, say, we're in a father's office and he's on an important phone call. His son opens up the door and starts to run towards him. And he's on the phone, he said, hey, let me give you a call right back. Hangs up the phone, comes around the corner, and gets on his knee and embraces his son and says, how was your day? What was it like? In that moment, what was happening is he put his son's interests above his own, and he was able to be unified with his son. Now let's take a second and look at the opposite of that. The father's on the phone still on that important phone call, and the son runs into the room, and the father says, get out, go right now, I'm on an important phone call. The son turns around and starts to leave, the son feeling that unity not there. The son is left with his interest not being met by his father. And in that, what we also see is the father's interests were more important than his son's. So if we're going to have this unity, we have to put people's interests above our own. Now that we've seen what church unity is, and we've seen how to achieve church unity, the next question is, how do we apply it to ourselves? How can we make it applicable outside of just the church unity itself. For myself, I do this by having parties, by having people over, having gatherings, and just serving them, considering them better than myself, and being intentional about bringing people together and allowing unity to happen. That gathering of considering others better than myself, I'm able to let people experience unity because it's not about me, but I'm about others to come together. And that's one way that I get to experience it. But maybe for you, what it could look like is maybe you guys can come together as like with your families or things like that. And if you go home and you're ready to get into your house, that maybe you turn off your cell phones and then you think about your family and you're interested in the things of your family when you walk in that door, rather than consumed by what you have to do. Maybe it's at church. When you go to these staff meetings that are about things that really aren't important to you, you actually show up and you're interested in the things that the church needs to be interested in. Maybe it's on your way somewhere with your girlfriend or somewhere with your wife. You can put them in front of you, that you can consider their needs higher than yours, and actually stop for a second and say, how was your week? How was your day? And start to consider them better than yourselves. So we've seen so far, what we've seen is that church unity is to be of the same purpose. Church unity is to be of the same mind. To achieve that, we have to serve others. To achieve unity, we have to put others above ourselves. That we have to consider others better than ourselves. And we have to be interested in the things that other people are interested in for us to be united. Now, this is where I get to encourage you guys. If there's anything I could say about you guys, is this: we've practiced this unity in this class. We've considered each other more important than the other. We've been interested in the things of others. And let that be an encouragement, because I can stand in front of you today and say that you guys are practicing this. And now I have confidence to also say, when you leave here and when God brings people into your life, you will be able to practice this unity with them. You will be able to bring people into this. And I thank you guys for that. Also, what I just want to say is I love you guys. I'm encouraged by you guys. You guys are motivating to me, and it's been a gift. So I just want to leave with this. Let's all stand and rise to achieve this unity together.